We are live on Las Vegas Triathlon Club Facebook. We're recording. I'm John Mercer, and this is our Las Vegas Triathlon Club Spotlight, and we have Griselda Lloyd tonight. How are you, Griselda?
I'm wonderful. How are you, John and Bob?
Oh, doing great, and it's so great that you joined us. We're getting our spotlight going again, and so it's great to have you on as a guest. And this is going to be fun to hear your story of getting involved with triathlon. So before I get going too far, I'm going to jump over to Bob for the official introduction. Hey, Bob, how are you?
I'm doing well, John. Thank you, and welcome again, Griselda. And this is going to be interesting because I don't know about John, but I'm rusty. We haven't done this for like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I've been busy, John's been busy, and there's all kind of stuff going on. So this is a really wonderful and fitting re-entry into the member spotlight, and it's wonderful having Griselda for everybody out there. Hi, folks, and it's wonderful having Griselda on here tonight. She is a relatively new member joining in August, and had a fun story. It actually made me smile whenever I heard about how she got started in triathlon, and Griselda also did our first our the recent on Saturday
Mhm.
triathlon. So to get started, Griselda, welcome, and tell us, how did you get started in this? What made you want to do a triathlon and get started?
Well, it's an interesting story. So I've for a long time wanted to do it. I've always been a biker. I lived in California, did the AIDS life cycle from San Francisco down to what is it, Santa Monica. I've always been a runner, but I've always been iffy with water. And in the beginning of last year, one of my really good friends said, "Hey, Griselda, you want to do a triathlon?" I said, "Sure." Jokingly,
Sure.
I said, "Let's do an Ironman, a half Ironman." And she said, "Okay." So we signed up. We
Wait, time out. So you have never done, this is what I
no,
found so fun, was they had never done a triathlon. They said,
no,
sure, let's do an Ironman. And they
a
signed
half
up.
one, a half one, a half one. So that was in January. By February, I knew how to swim enough not to drown. So I got a coach in February, started swimming, got started properly swimming. It took me up until July for things to start connecting. And that's when my coach said, "Okay, you have to get out into open water." And I've never been open water swimming. So I started looking up open water swim coach. And then I found your website, the Las Vegas Triathlon Club. And so I signed up, I became a member. In August, I saw that you had your one, I think it was probably your third event or something, that you can swim, you can do everything. And I kind of got scared, didn't go do it. But then August came along, October started coming along. So my friend and I started going out open water swimming. We got comfortable with it. We were doing good, 40 minutes to do the, 1950. Come October, we go out there, long line, anxiety's up. I've never jumped into a lake. So we get in there, and I didn't know you have 5 seconds, jump in, you got to move out of the way. So jumped in, the water hit my face. It was kind of cold, chilly, 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get out of the way fast enough, so someone was on top of me, but I kept swimming. I swam. My brain kind of forgot how to swim. Took me 900 meters to remember how. I finished the swim.
Yeah.
I finished it, but I was 11 minutes too short, too slow. And then so from that point, I was just excited that I had done the swim.
Yeah.
Not knowing in February up until then, I was so happy. But then I said, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this properly. So come January, everybody started putting out, we're going to start writing, we're going to start running, we're going to start swimming. And then I saw that you started putting up the clinics. So I joined your one clinic, and there's
And that was the open
the
water
swim.
swim,
Yeah, the
cold
open one.
water,
Yes.
first time triathlete in
Yes.
an open water swim.
Yes, absolutely. So water was cold. I met new people. Everybody was so amazing, so sweet, so nice. Then they convinced me to sign up for the first triathlon. You were there, John, in the water. It was freezing that day.
That that was cold.
Yes, it was. So I kind of got nervous, came back, and you calmed me down perfectly, John. You're like, just swim back and forth, and people started coming in. So I went in, I finished the bike ride. You were at the first transition. I calmed down there. I've never been so cold in my life. Went back, finished the run. And then I signed up for Rage. I completed all of Rage. That was my first full completion. Then I did the second one, the second sprint last weekend, and I finished the second one. So it was so amazing that I figured out you got to do things properly.
I love it. I love it. That is such a great sort of move into the sport and without hurdles that you had to overcome. So that's wonderful.
Yep,
Learning to swim.
everybody has hurdles to overcome, and they're all different. It's always fun to
Yeah.
hear the things that people have overcome. And that's a lot, because your first time in Lake Mead, I
Yeah.
don't know if you realize it or not, but when we did it, that water was 55 degrees.
Mhm.
That was cold. And then it was probably about the same whenever you
Following weekend. Yep.
following weekend. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, congratulations for overcoming that, and then not going home and climbing into bed and saying that's enough of this stuff.
No, no, no. I was proud. I finished the swim.
There you go.
And you know, when you have those types of challenges, and I can hear it in your voice, is that when you do complete the event in the way that you wanted to, it has that much more meaning
Yes.
because these are not easy, and it's a big
Mm-mm.
accomplishment to be able to do these events.
No, but not even the first sprint, the one that I completed on Rage, and then the second one last week. E- Even a sprint is nothing to be joked about. You swim your 750,
Yeah.
then you go onto the bike, from the bike there I went to that one clinic that you held with the gate,
Yep.
where he said it's no joke. The running, it's like a whole neurological concept that happens when you're going from bike to run, and all of that. It's even a sprint is a lot. Is a
Mm.
lot.
That makes you want to correct someone when they say, "Oh, I just did a sprint."
Yes,
There's no
it's
such
not.
thing as
No.
just a sprint. Those two words should not be used in the same sentence.
No,
It
it's
is still a triathlon, and
yep.
it still has its challenges.
Yes.
So, and you learn.
Hmm. And I
Well,
love it. So I'm going to keep going, and then I'll graduate to the Olympic, and then hopefully next July I'll be doing the Oregon half.
awesome. That's a popular race for us locals, so that's great. So I'm curious, so your background you said was running.
Hmm.
How did you, when you decided to do a triathlon, you talked a little bit about it, but how did you change the way that you were preparing for running races to now you're preparing for triathlon?
Mm.
So it's more methodical now. I go with it's not just where I'm going out for a quick 3 mile run, 5 mile run. I get ready. Like if I'm getting ready for a race, I have my glasses, my hat, my nutrition, and the hydration part, because you've got your swim, you got your bike, and then making sure that I stay hydrated, and then I just go for the long. I'm going for time versus I'm going for distance.
Wow. That
And
is,
it's not three separate events that
No,
you just stack on
mhm,
one behind the next one.
no.
What did you find out about training and doing the race?
So training and then doing the race. So it the one thing that I'm still struggling with and trying to work is the transition from swim to bike,
mm,
because I'm cold and I'm wet and everything. It's a lot harder to get things on. But the one that took me a while, but I think it's a sport in it of itself, going from the bike to the run, where your legs have been used, and you're going running. That right there, the first 5 minutes of my run, I know are completely shot, just getting used to getting into it. So that's what's taking that took time. Now I'm going from swim to the bike, since I'm actually swimming. I'm completing the swims.
Yeah, it's really wonderful to hear new people who just discover that for the first time.
Hmm.
The fact that it's not just a run and a swim and a bike. It is all three of them together.
And just being able to compose yourself in the transitions so that you can go smoothly but still get through it without being anxious. I need to move, I need to move, I need to move. So, but what I liked about it is the first sprint and the second event, I was the last one, And I was worried at first, what if I'm the last one? I've already been the last one, and you guys were all so amazing that when I finished, I wasn't, feeling down. You guys were there. I got my hand clap, I got my towel, I got my cup. I was happy. I was like, I finished.
It's your day as much
Yes.
as anyone's, and
Hmm.
that is so important. So I know you said you've got Oregon 70.3 in your sights. What do you have for the remainder of this year?
So my plan is to do one more in July, do another sprint, and then from that sprint in August, go to August and start moving up Olympics. So I'm looking for the ones obviously here close by, but there's one in September in Utah that I'm thinking of signing up.
Mhm.
Maybe, but I'm gonna stick locally so that I can build my confidence with the swim.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And you know that Las Vegas Triathlon in September
Yeah.
here in Lake Mead has an Olympic
Hmm.
distance for it.
Yeah. So if I don't do I'll probably end up doing that one versus the Utah one since it is local. But I'm after the July one, I'm planning on moving up from sprint distance to Olympic.
Very cool. Hey, I want to go back just a little bit to what you said about when you crossed the finish line and you felt good. That's a lesson that I just, since other people are going to be watching this, I wanted to make the point. When you cross the finish line, you're a triathlete,
Yes.
you know, and how many people care about your time?
No.
No one. So it's like, and that's so cool that you realize that and were able to enjoy that. That makes me feel good. I'm sure it makes John feel good.
Yeah, no, totally, and it's a celebration, and that's neat to be able to celebrate any finish line. Getting to the start line is often a victory. Getting to the finish line is another victory.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I've heard you say a couple times that you want to continue to work on the swim, and that's admirable, and that's very common with triathlon. That's good to get comfortable there. Where else do you see that you want to spend time getting ready for the Olympic or for the 70.3?
So the bike ride, um, I've been going out with friends, and now with this heat, going out obviously earlier, but it's nice that it gets the sun comes out a lot quicker. Just increasing speed on the bike and working on that transition from the water onto the bike and getting your legs moving and the body a little bit warmer because I just get cold
Yeah.
coming from the water. So the bike ride and I found a great community within a bunch of ladies that are in the Las Vegas Triathlon Club that I've gone riding with. So I'm going to continue with that and just improve my speed. So from the first one to the second triathlon, I knocked down 5 minutes.
Oh,
All
nice.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are sounding so much like a triathlete.
Yeah, and the second one was no joke either. I mean, that was in
Oh,
the
that
summer,
heat.
and you had a headwind coming back, so
Hmm.
that was that's impressive that you shortened your time by 5 minutes.
Hmm.
So Griselda, you're in the perfect position to talk about what it is that any kind of aha moments that you learned as you were just getting started and you got started, you did your first open water swim recently, your first triathlon recently, and just getting started. What is it that either surprised you or that you went, aha, this is different, or in learning about triathlon?
So the community,
Ah, yes.
it's the community. It's not. I know that we're competing against ourselves, and a lot of people go to compete to get on the podium, but it really just is the community to learn from other people. You're out in the open water. There's the more experienced triathletes. Just I'm just starting to listen to them more and be more open and talking and not be as shy and afraid to ask questions because they really have a lot of knowledge that I know nothing about. And just like a quick, like, hey, it'd be faster if you do this. This is the way, when you taught us how to put on a wetsuit, just those little things that that you wouldn't normally know, and working with everybody else. And it's a really friendly community.
And just so everybody who is listening knows, we did not prepare this. We didn't plant this in Griselda. She's just a natural born ambassador for us. So it's really wonderful that, to have you in the
Well,
club for
because
sure.
I started backwards. I went all out with the Ironman, not knowing anything. And then now I'm like, okay, I'm going to actually really learn and do it the proper way. Take advantage of the clinics that you have and meet the people.
And you will find that one thing that all triathletes have in common is they just love to share their knowledge. I mean, people
Mhm.
just love to help and maybe just, talk about what they've learned,
Mhm.
Well, and I love it. I mean, we do have a wonderful endurance community here in
Yeah,
Las
we do.
Vegas, and very supportive. And it's great to race each other, but at the same time, there's a lot of high fives and a lot of
Mhm.
encouragement along the way, and that's so
Yeah,
important because we want to enjoy this sport, and I can see the enjoyment that you're having with triathlon and just talking with you now.
yeah, absolutely. And it's wonderful to have you in because it's like your enthusiasm is infectious and it really makes the club what it is. So
No, this is
thanks
wonderful.
much.
So Griselda, this is great. We said we'd go 15, 20 minutes and we're already beyond that. So this is fantastic. It's really neat to hear how you got into triathlon and the journey that you've had so far. And it will be fun to track you as you make your
Absolutely.
progress towards 70.3. So we'll
Well,
see
I'm
you at,
hooked and I'm staying and I will be at the next couple
I'm
of
hooked and I'm
events.
staying. I love it.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. And so we will see you at one of our next events
Mhm.
or at one of our clinics or maybe one of the
Yes.
rides that are out there. So
Yes.
this is fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. Thanks for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Griselda. Oh, it was fun. I really appreciate having you on.
All
Thank
right. Good
you.
night, everyone.
Good night.